Fargo and serving you on TV, online and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
Everyone keeps telling us about a gray area in North Dakota state law and how he falls into this gray area, and I don't know, how do you get rid of the gray area?
It's a frustrating phrase for a Grand Forks family we introduced you to last week. Thanks for joining us. Mike has the evening off. Nash is the 11-month-old who fell from a changing table at the United Day Nursery and suffered a skull fracture. A flooding response on our Facebook page questioned why no one was held accountable. Tonight, Valley News Team's Krista Boehm talked with the attorney who decided no charges will be filed against the employee who admitted to lying about what happened.
11-month-old Nash is healing, but his parents are still having a hard time grasping the fact nothing is being done about their case.
We're hearing that there wouldn't be any criminal charges pressed against her, that she could potentially go apply at another daycare and work there.
Though a CT scan proved a United Day Nursery employee lied, that a small fall was actually a nearly 3-foot fall from a changing table when she turned her back to change another baby.
I don't consider it an accident when it could have been prevented.
A Grand Forks assistant state attorney says injuries, minor or serious, were not enough to take this to court for child abuse and neglect. The employee would have had to have shown willful intent.
We didn't believe that there was a reasonable likelihood that we could obtain a conviction beyond a reasonable doubt. We'll have to prove that the defendant had the requisite intent level, which just wasn't the case here.
But the family isn't settling as they keep a close eye on Nash, not knowing what the skull fracture may have left for his future.
We're scared for him. We're scared to allow him to be a kid because we don't know what's going to happen.
They have started looking into a civil suit.
That could mean as little as posting a piece of paper on a bulletin board saying there was an incident at the daycare. And that's it.
In an effort to try and make it right and hold the daycare accountable. Krista Boehm, Valley News Live.
We also spoke with United Day Nursery in our original story, and the director there says they took all the right steps to report the incident. You can see that story along with more on the attorney's comments on valleynewslive.com. Moorhead police are still looking for this man, 20-year-old Anthony Rodriguez. He's accused of killing a 55-year-old man in a Moorhead trailer home yesterday. Here's a picture of the car Rodriguez is known for driving. It's a silver 4-door Dodge Stratus with unusually wide rear tires. Police arrested a 16-year-old today in connection to that murder. They're not releasing his name because he's not an adult. The man found dead in the Mobile Manor trailer court over the weekend was Bradley Carrington, and he was staying in the trailer. Police say if you see Rodriguez, do not approach him and call police right away. And these two men are behind bars tonight after officers found a large-scale drug trafficking organization operating right here in the valley. Investigators say Charles Erdman and Corey Stevens were arrested in North Fargo today. More than $100,000 worth of meth, cocaine, and heroin were seized, as well as a handgun, an assault-style rifle, and more than $20,000 in cash were confiscated. There have been 5 incidents in Cass County where an animal suspected of having rabies was reported. The Cass County Sheriff's Department is issuing this notice in a Horace newsletter, warning people stay away from wild animals and report any animals acting strange. The warning also says several of those incidents happened in the area near Chestnut Drive in Horace. But neighbors say they haven't heard anything about a possible rabies situation.
We haven't seen any really animals running around here besides once in a while deer and turkeys come through now and then. I haven't seen any besides dead ones on County Road 17, and I try to avoid those.
For more information regarding signs, symptoms, and your family's safety when it comes to rabies, go to valleynewslive.com and click on this story. The deadly shooting of a Minnesota deputy yesterday is still taking its toll on the small town he served. In Aiken, Minnesota, 60-year-old Steve Sandberg was very well known and spent 17 years at the fire department. Sandberg was shot and killed by a patient at the St. Cloud Hospital after an altercation with the man. Earlier today, the town had a processional, including fire trucks carrying Deputy Sandberg's body through town to all of his favorite places before he was brought to the funeral home. Also today, his church prepared for the crowds at the vigil, giving Aiken a place to mourn a man who was widely known for his kindness and character.
A close friend of the fire department and myself, and it was always that calming professional voice that helped us through a lot of hard times, and so hopefully now we can help his family through some hard times that are coming up.
Sandberg is survived by a wife and 19-year-old daughter. Hundreds gathered for the candlelight vigil at the church this evening. Well, in the wake of recent shootings in Virginia and Oregon, a group of Senate Democrats are saying enough is enough. Senators from Connecticut, Virginia, and Oregon are ramping up pressures on Congress to make a change. Others believe it's not gun control that needs to be changed, but rather mental health. This group of Senate Democrats want to strengthen the background check system, close background check loopholes, and shut down the illegal gun pipeline. West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin says that supported similar legislation in 2013, says while he supports Second Amendment rights, the gun safety bill is common sense.
A law-abiding gun owner in West Virginia that wants to sell a gun to a criminal or someone who's been adjudicated mentally.
Now, members of the National Rifle Association agree with the mental health reform, but believe that's where the focus should stay.
Making sure that we identify those people who have been adjudicated as mentally ill and pose a threat to either themselves or to others.
According to the Pew Research Center, about 85% of all Americans favor universal background checks on gun sales. He made history, becoming the first transgender man to be featured on a Men's Health magazine cover. And tonight, transgender activist Aidan Dowling shared his story and struggles with the FM community. His talk is a part of the school's celebration of LGBTQ Pride Month at NDSU. Valley News Team's Cornelius Hawker brings us about his talk and then also the perspective of what it's like to be transgender in the Valley.
Being transgender is when you're born and your birth certificate says that you're male, but you feel like you're female. Or you're born as your birth certificate says that you're a female and you're born, or you feel like you're a male.
For Darcy Corbett Hall, being transgender hasn't been easy. This NDSU graduate student transitioned 2 years ago and moved to the Valley recently. When she heard Aidan Dowling was coming to campus, she knew she had to go.
I really was very pleased that Aidan was invited to come and speak because he is what I would consider an ordinary person, but he's doing extraordinary things, and he's a great trans role model.
Century Theater at NDSU was packed as Dowling spoke of his life and his journey to true authenticity.
When you really take the time out to discover yourself, it's amazing the person that you'll find inside.
That message of loving your true self was the resounding theme Dowling echoed throughout his talk, opening up about his struggles. He also shared what he hopes for the future regarding not just transgendered individuals, but everyone, no matter how you identify.
Every single person in this room deserves happiness. And if you don't believe it, you should really take the time and effort to learn about yourself and why do you deserve happiness and how are you going to get yourself there.
For Darcy, she knows she must live in her truth and hopes to set an example for other people like her, letting them know you can be happy and successful when you're transgender. Cornelius Hawker, Valley News Live.
Now, Dowling will be on campus until tomorrow. For more about Pride Month events at NDSU, go to valleynewslive.com and look for this story. Oh, listen to that voice. Good news. Local musician Blind Joe wowed the judges again tonight on NBC's hit show The Voice and advanced past the battle round and will now go to the knockout round. He went head-to-head against a contestant from Texas tonight. And tune into NBC every Monday night, 7 p.m. See how far he goes.
Valley News.